Does dental insurance annoy you? Are you someone that gets frustrated by reimbursement, denied EOBs? Well, I have someone special for you today, my good friend, Dr. Travis Campbell, insurance expert. We're going to talk about how to de-annoyify your life with dental insurance. We're going to also share that Travis is coming to Philadelphia for cheesesteaks, CE, and camaraderie this fall. So to get a ticket and maybe get a discount before the discount ends, text Travis to 215-543-6454. We're going to talk about de-annoyifying your insurance, how to build a fee-for-service dream team, and how to talk to patients in ways that don't make them feel weird on the inside part of their body. So welcome, Travis, to Talking Nachos. Share with us, you got the dental insurance guy behind you. Share with us just for a minute, what do you do in your daily life? You're a dentist, you're a consultant. Tell us a little bit about Dr. Travis Campbell.
So I'm a practicing dentist. I own a couple offices. I love to do implants, which I think you might relate to. But, when I first started 13 years ago, I knew nothing about insurance, knew nothing about running a business. And of course, those were pretty much the two biggest stresses in my life. Dentistry was easy in comparison, and I didn't find a lot of answers. And so over the subsequent years, I found the answers to the problems we were having and then started sharing them with people.
I love that. And we're going to talk about the conference we're having, but the dental insurance guy, what is the website for that? If somebody wants to join your awesome consulting group, how can they do that?
So just go to dentalinsurancegui.com and sign up. It's an inexpensive membership. We do, live Q&A sessions every month. So any questions you've got, ask them on there. I answer questions almost every day. I think I answered like 8 of them today of members that just posted questions about insurance or EOBs or claims or anything like that. So it's fun.
I think does insurance annoy you? Talk to Travis. It will annoy you a little bit less. And that's our goal in life. Before we talk about our show, you said something that really struck a chord with me, happiness. What do you love about implants so much?
What do I love about implants? I figured you might pull that one up. They're just easy. I was told for years that they were easy, and I was like, yeah, no, they can't be, whatever. I held off. I gave all those sorts of excuses, and now I've been doing them a year, and they're more fun than anything else I do. I don't know.
I mean, you make a space in the bone, put implant in like a giant post, right? I did it for years. I had a whole thing. If you can place a post in a tooth, an implant's easier. It has less complications as long as you find out if you have enough bone. So glad you're doing that. I mean, it makes life more fun. It's profitable, it's patient-centered, which is the theme of our conference, more patient-centered care, more profitability. So Travis, tell us, there's so much friendly arguing, friction, West Side storying of PPO versus fee-for-service. Does your office take PPOs, and are you successful in taking PPOs?
Yeah, we pretty much take every PPO. And I don't know, how do you define success? We do well over $2.5 million a year with a single dentist.
I want to pause, interject there. You collect $2.5 million a year with essentially one full-time solo GP. And I know you have someone who does wisdom teeth, but you're a regular-ish office, right? You're not doing full mouth rehabs every other day, right?
Yep.
How are you making PPOs work for you? Someone just popped on and said, you know what, everyone tells me to drop all these insurances. My goal, Travis, is not tell people to drop insurances, take on insurances. It's to make a plan about your plans. How do you succeed with PPOs in your practice?
It's all about efficiency. I mean, there are so many things that I look back 10 years ago and took me 2 to 3 times longer than what we do now. There's so many things I used to do myself that now we delegate. There's so much time we wasted on, trying to go through treatment explanations and then not have patients move forwards. So, I mean, I get asked all the time, is there a single magic bullet? There isn't. It's death by 1,000 cuts. Okay. It's 1,000 little small things you do on a day-to-day basis that add up to a massive difference.
Yeah.
And so, as I tell people, whether you go in network or out of network, it doesn't matter because it's all about efficiency. So if you want to have the relationship and, talk to patients a lot more and things like that, and that's what works for you, great, do it. Become like Paul. If you don't like having a lot of that and you don't like having to, in my colloquial term, kiss ass to patients and deal with the high needs, then do like me and be in network and charge lower fees, but just do more of it. So,
And
either works.
Travis, is I am 44 years old. I graduated dental school when I was 24 years old. I did a residency. I put in 17, 18 years of being an in-network provider. Only January 1st did we make a shift, and the shift can be scary. The shift has to go with purpose. It can't be reactive. And at our conference in the fall, we're going to teach people how to aware yourself, how to prepare yourself, whether you're in network with 47 spoiled guac PPOs or you're totally fee for service. People are going to ask about this, Travis. I use this for insurance. What is this here?
It's a coupon.
Coupon.
My wife loves Bed Bath & Beyond.
Right. So how does this help dentists reframe their relationship? Whether it's morale, whether it's money, how does looking at dental insurance like a coupon help them reframe their relationship in maybe a more positive way with dental insurance?
Well, I mean, I can use that one in particular. My wife loves Bed Bath & Beyond. She doesn't go unless she has a coupon. She loves it. She loves their stuff, but she will not go unless she has one because, well, let's face it, she has one all the time. So that's what gets her to come to the office. Insurance is the same thing. I know a lot of people tend to forget because it happened before most of us were alive. But before dental insurance, patients showing up in dental offices were a lot more rare. And dental insurance is what gets them in the office. Now, yes, it causes problems. Yes, it has hassles. Yes, there's issues with it. But most of that's just learning the game. If you learn how to play with insurance, then it works out better for you in or out of network. It doesn't matter.
And that's what I want to share. I would consider myself, dentists, we're a pretty dramatic group of people, Travis. They say, Paul, you're not really fee for service. We're out of network. And one of the things I want to share is your collection protocol. I don't like to say policy, it's protocol. Whether you're in network or out of network, fee for service not matters. I really admire your, what you say, cash in hand before rear end in chair. So you're an insurance office. So people you don't wait to get paid later. You just did a Facebook poll about this. So share with us a little bit about how your collection policy helps you collect this money, stay profitable, whether you're in network, out of network, fee for service or not.
Well, I mean, if anybody's paid attention, half paid attention to your group, there have been 3 major posts of people complaining that people walked out on their bill.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you created that problem by not collecting money before you worked on the patient, period. That's it. So how about you collect money before you work on the patient, and then people can never walk out on your bill. You've already been paid. But why do people not do it? I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of reasons. I literally just finished writing an article today about it. So it's, it'll be out in a week or so when my editor's fixed with it. But, it's one of those things that, yes, I used to do it too. I used to collect money after the treatment. And then I had several people cause me lots of headaches. And so I removed the headache problem. And guess what? Patients aren't having an issue with it. And that's the biggest thing I think is fear, is what is the patient going to do? And here's what I tell people. If they're going to cause a problem after you create treatment on paying for it, they're going to cause the same problems before, but actually the problem before is a less of a problem because you haven't worked on them yet. And so you can still go, okay, look, if money is the issue, then don't get the work done. No big deal. But after the work's done, you can't repo it.
For sure, right. And this is why this is such amazing info we'll be sharing, because Dr. Todd Fleischman is purely fee for service, right? I'm out of network, you take insurance plans, but all of us struggle daily to explain to patients how to pay for dental care, because for some reason, even though everything else you just pay for, like a hotel bill or your car, why do you think patients even have this expectation of they don't have to pay at the time of service? What do you think created this over the years?
We did. We train them.
Yeah.
And you can train them poorly or you can train them well. I mean, it's no different than training a team member. It's what do you do? What do you let them get away with? And unfortunately, I used my example as kids, and I know this is a foreign concept to you of using your kids as examples, Paul. But our patients are like children. They want to push boundaries. If we let them push boundaries, they will continue pushing boundaries. If we give them a boundary that is solid, guess what? They won't push past it because they've been given the boundary. The problem is, as dentists, we're not confident enough, or we don't know what's going to happen if we set that boundary.
I mean, in general, Travis, we don't know how to deal with conflict, whether it's explaining that a tooth isn't going to last forever. So I always say that dentists, it's like conflict is embedded in everything we do. We tell people that stuff they don't want to do, they don't want to pay for, they don't want to sit through. And then dentists are surprised that patients respond in the ways they do. But I think if you create systems that make sense and say things like, here at our office, our protocol is people pay for this prior to the care. Does that make sense to you? Is that reasonable? And most people will find that reasonable. And I think the ones who don't, Travis, you made a good point. They're raising their hand that they're going to be a problem no matter what. Yes. So I think it's a great way to weed out challenges. So we're going to wrap up in a few minutes. I want to share a course, but if someone was going to come to this, I went to your Atlanta course. You were awesome. Love sitting there in Philly. What's a common thing that most PPO offices are missing out on, frustrating themselves with, whether it's a denied EOB, scaling and root planing? What's something you said, hey, here's some value, go do this, go think about this. What can you share with our audience?
Collect money now, not later. I mean, that's a big one.
Gotcha. I like
talk about it. Frame insurance correctly. I mean, insurance, again, is not what most people unfortunately think it is. It's just a coupon. It's just a way to help cover some of the money. And I think many offices think a majority of their income should come from insurance. That's wrong. Like I said, we do over 2 million. More than half of that comes from the patient. It doesn't come from insurance. Insurance is just there to help them push past that step of getting it done in the first place. But in many cases, more money should be coming from the patient than from the insurance company. We all know that insurance doesn't pay a lot. No big deal. But if we frame it incorrectly, then patients tend to stop once their insurance runs out, or the evil term that is never allowed in my office, non-covered. We don't ever say the term non-covered. So there's lots of little details.
So don't say non-covered. I like that.
No, you say your portion after insurance is X. You didn't lie to them. You didn't say anything wrong. But the second you say non-covered, what a patient hears is not important. And that's just the brainwashing that insurance has done. So we avoid that. We don't say non-covered.
And what I like to share, Travis, is I think people have a misunderstanding of you, because at your conference, you were kind of took some glee when someone said, hey, you could fax this thing to one of these insurance companies. Don't say their name. I don't want to get any hate mail. And because you're an equal opportunity annoyer like me, you get frustrated with insurance policies. Right here, this meme I made, which has gotten a lot of good laughs. We went out of network with one of our big plans. We wrote a letter to our patients. We shared them, but it does sometimes the dental insurance sends them a letter that makes it seem like their dentist hates you. And even though these are people that we've been in network with for 20 years, and that is a little demoralizing to me, but I do reframe it. What would you say to those offices that saying, I do want to shift status with this plan that's not reimbursing well and terrible, but they're worried their patients are going to leave? What would you say to them?
Well, one, you could ask them. I mean, just do a small little poll. Ask 20 patients, what would happen if they went out of network, and give them the examples of what that difference would be. For most people, it's very little. I mean, You've experienced this. For the first 10 years of my practice, I slowly dropped insurance. It's only in the last 3 years we went back in network and, collected a lot more money. I mean, go figure. But it's all in how you frame it. So everything in life is communications. So if we communicate any concept well, it's going to work out. If we communicate any concept poorly, more than likely it's not going to work out.
Love that.
It doesn't matter what we do, it's how we do it.
My final ask of you, people are going to text Travis at 215-543-6454, where we have our amazing 2-day conference coming up this fall. But Travis, you make a lot of online content. I make a lot of online content. Share with people, learn anywhere, anytime from their phone, which is great. But you cannot replace the feeling of being in person. I was just in Boston, Atlanta. You're a dentist in the same age bracket as me, right? We're between the online world and the this didn't exist world. What do you find, whether it's a speaker or a participant, when you're sitting in the audience? Why are you glad to be there listening to Todd Fleischman in person? Why should dentists still come in person to stuff?
Well, I mean, I can speak for me. I assume a lot of people like this, but I can only speak for me. Is if I'm listening to online content, often I get distracted very easily if I'm in my office or at the house. I'm not putting as much effort and focus into it. If I'm at a course, There's not much else other than to focus on it. I mean, yeah, I suppose you could still get on Facebook, but a lot of us still don't do that. So that's part of it. And then you get the energy. But here's the thing that's even more important. Online, when that screen goes down or a commercial comes up or there's a break or whatever, what's happening in person is actually the most important part.
Yeah.
It's the networking, it's the questions, it's the getting together and seeing how other people are doing and it's working out. That's huge. And
Right.
you just don't get that. But I'll say the people who have messaged me after courses that they have gotten the most content out of, it's when they brought their team too. Because my challenge, and I'd still say it's somewhat of a challenge for me, is if I learn something new and cool and exciting and I go to the team and go, hey, here's this great little thing, we got to change what we're doing. And the team goes, change? What the hell is change? We don't want to change.
Yeah.
But they didn't get all the energy and the motivation and the background of why we want to make this change. They just go, change is hard. I don't want to do that. Versus when they're sitting there in the audience with you, guess what? When I've brought my team to courses, they're the ones pushing me to change.
Love
and
that.
that is so much easier.
I call it shared ideas, create success instead of stress. And when they see it time. So I know you're thrilled to be spending 2 more full days, maybe 3 more full days with me, Travis. So get ready for that. Thanks for sharing with us.
You just promised good food, Paul. I mean, that's why I'm coming.
Big C, we have it all. I hope you guys join us. Fun, friends, learning in Philadelphia. It's the birthplace of our nation. So if you like our nation, it's your obligation to come see all the great things we have to do.